For this project, I chose to concentrate on a specific initiative in our 2020 strategic plan, which is focused around the end goal of personalized learning for all students. This specific initiative involves the introduction and implementation of grade-level learning hubs within an elementary school in order to foster communication, collaboration, teaming, and ultimately a personalized learning approach and environment in which each student's interests and needs can be met. This initiative is structured to be introduced in phases, and our first phase was to successfully introduce it for our students, parents, and teachers in the context of the kindergarten program, which is typically one of the first years of formal education for most children. Our goal was to introduce and plan for the training of our teachers, as well as the redesign and remodeling of our single kindergarten classrooms into modern collaborative learning hubs, where children and teachers would interact within a more meaningful and personalized learning environment. Almost 4 years ago, the Singapore American School initiated a research and development phase of an overall strategic plan to investigate best learning practices throughout the world. We sent teams of administrators and teachers around the world to places such as Finland, Australia, New Zealand, and the United States to investigate some of the most innovative and exciting learning environments which were demonstrating key 21st century learning skills such as creativity, communication, character, collaboration, cultural competence, critical thinking, and of course content knowledge. These visits and the ideas were then synthesized, discussed, and examined more closely for relevance to our goal of truly establishing a personalized learning environment for our students. I'm sitting in what could now be described as a realized vision of this work. This environment I am located in today and speaking to you from is one of the newly configured kindergarten learning hubs prior to students arriving today, where they will begin their second week of school in this new and dynamic learning space. This is a realized dream of what we envisioned, and I would like to describe to you today how we have gone about to make this a reality. Our objectives were to be quite clear. The first one was, of course, working toward the realized vision of our strategic plan, which is to create personalized learning environments for each student. The following objective is just one of the overall initiatives that will help direct us more fully to that vision. The objective was key to my Doing Power project, which was to realize and create a shared environment for students and teachers, which would call for the intentional communication and collaboration of not only our teachers, but their students as well. We would endeavor to create a personalized learning environment that would best challenge our students to develop their character, creativity, communication, and critical thinking through the use of intentional teaching and learning, standards, and outcomes within each content knowledge area. Within this environment, children can be challenged at whatever level they come to us with and be guaranteed the opportunity to move forward at their own pace and ability. Within this shared environment, they can be paired with other students at their level and enjoy the attention of various adults employed to support the personalized learning needs of each student. The environment is designed to help these facilitate a personalized learning approach through its setup and becomes one piece of an overall plan to deliver a personalized learning approach to all students. How will we know we have achieved our objective or made progress on it? Well, by physically rolling out a space at this time, we have made progress to introduce the Learning Hub environment, which you see around me at this time. Future evidence will rest on what the students now achieve with this environment, which will be ongoing. There were many other objectives that were important to realizing the successful rollout of the kindergarten learning hubs. Those included the onboarding of teachers and a mindset change around how they viewed classroom environments and their structure for effective learning. How do we measure this success? Seeing them within the setting, giving it a try, and adopting a positive mindset in terms of working collaboratively to achieve these results with students. The communication of this plan out to parents and the community regarding the reconfiguration of traditional kindergarten classrooms into combined learning hubs. The success of this is measured in ensuring parents are highly informed of what is going on within the learning hubs and the why behind it. We are ensuring to over-communicate how we are rolling out these learning hubs. Another objective was the successful planning and renovation of the hubs to ensure the spaces were carefully considered and planned to accommodate the personalized learning approach we would want to implement. The success of this is evident already, and as I've said, we are seeing the results of successful planning and a completed renovation. The explicit work of defining what personalized learning really looks like and the work around establishing our power standards, learning progressions, and other relevant curriculum work, which enables our teachers to be able to scaffold the learning for each student. We have evidence of progress in this area as well. We have been spending time reviewing the 3 major subject areas of reading, writing, and math, and ensuring we have developed the key power standards for each unit, as well as a series of learning progressions that students will move through. We are now writing those into I can statements that students will be able to share and understand. This continues to be ongoing work. The next area I'd like to share with you is what we have specifically done in the last 8 weeks and the logic behind our actions. Since we had to specifically ensure our teachers were on board to support this work, we brought our teachers back early in order to spend time discussing with them what personalized learning would look like in this collaborative setting. We spent many meetings ensuring that there was a solid understanding and a positive mindset for this learning hub model. I worked with the teachers to create a working definition of personalized learning hub so that the team was united in what we would say if parents asked us about it. This was important that we are all sending the same message in terms of how the learning environment will support a personalized learning approach for these students. I was also able to share out many professional articles with the team that spoke about personalized learning hubs from different schools that had been using them. We used these to facilitate our discussions around what would demonstrate good practice within the personalized learning hubs. It was important to also recognize the apprehension teachers would have in giving up their old style of teaching for this new model. I found it important to really listen to their concerns and apprehensions as we move forward with this model. For every concern, we carefully discussed each one to alleviate whatever anxiety that was producing within an individual. I think the important part was giving each of them a voice to be able to express their concern, and that helped ease their transition into the new model, and they felt heard and listened to. The other big piece was the communication with parents regarding this new teaching approach. We had already started this communication at the end of the last school year, as we knew we were moving ahead with this model of the personalized learning hubs. We introduced the concept at our last principal's coffee for parents and shared the what, why, and the how around our research and how we believed it would enlist our students' personalized learning needs to be better met. The other thing we attempted to do was keep a running log of our actions so we could know exactly what steps we had taken to realize our goal. This would also assist us in the next phase of our implementation, which is to carry this personalized learning hub model throughout the entire elementary school setting through grade 5. Finally, one of the most important pieces was the continual understanding of knowing who needed to know key pieces of information within the administration regarding this initiative. This was a key piece in the implementation of this entire project, and this class in particular, Building Power to Lead, helped me not only identify who those key people in power were that I needed to establish key relationships with, but helped me understand how I could develop my own power through my work with them. Through this understanding of power, I was able to leverage some key support for the work we needed done, or things we needed on board to fully realize our objective. So now we get to the what happened part of the story. Well, we proceeded to move forward through all the steps described previously, and as I said, I'm now sitting here in this new innovative kindergarten learning hub that already has 1 week behind it. In that short week, we have been able to see a buy-in by the teaching staff in terms of how they are approaching the new learning center. There's 100% buy-in by all teachers in terms of their mindset, and we still have a lot of work to do in realizing how the classroom directly acts to personalize the learning for students, but teachers are already trying the different things we have discussed and talked about, and they're finding great early success in how students are reacting. This is emboldening the teachers to feel really great about what is happening this early, and they are eager to get further into their work as we begin in week 2. Throughout the process, we had to really take the time to listen to everyone's input in regards to these changes, and we had to ensure that as we moved along, that everyone was moving with us. Sometimes we would end a meeting and just give people some time to go away and think about things, and then we would come back and revisit the topic that was causing some angst, and slowly we would work through the issue, always turning our key question back to what was good for our students. As long as we continued to concentrate on that key question, individuals could not get into the weeds of why something worked or didn't work well for them as a teacher. We ensured our focus was around what was good for our students. The other thing that has happened is we have seen great support and excitement from the parent community around the new Learning Hub model. Because of our communication has been ongoing and informative, parents have seen the Learning Hubs now and are excited by the possibilities they believe exist for personalized learning for their children. Finally, in terms of the students, we have watched them come into and settle into this new personalized learning hub setting with excitement, awe, and curiosity. This is a curiosity to learn, and we have been allowing them to move about the learning hub and explore it, and we can tell that it gives them great flexibility to choose things that are appropriate for their learning and access to materials which are readily available and pertinent for them. It is still early, but we are really excited by what we have seen so far in everyone's reactions to the hubs, and in the manner that the hubs are providing the kind of new learning spaces we expect will allow us to personalize learning more fully. One of the biggest takeaways for me from this class was the important piece around creating allies within the work you're doing. It was extremely important to keep my boss informed and educated around the strategic pieces of our Learning Hub initiative so that he could be armed to communicate effectively throughout the parent community. By ensuring that I was keeping him well informed with this information, I was strengthening my power position with him and demonstrating the value I was bringing to the work he needs to do as well. Similarly, I tapped about 8 of the parents from the PTA organization who I know have influence throughout the community. By inviting them in to have more formal discussions about the Learning Hub initiative, They were feeling well informed and were on board to support the initiative verbally out in the community. In this way, I was building allies to support our work externally. I also think this goes to the important piece of managing key relationships and then controlling how others perceive you. By carefully understanding the relationships around you and how you can leverage their place within the organization to support your goals, you can raise their perception of you by ensuring you value the contributions they bring to your cause. Another piece of this equation is the value of doing some of the face-to-face. It is one thing to send out a communication about the work you're doing and inform people. It is another whole level of meaning to be face-to-face with someone and have them be able to hear something directly from you as opposed to read about it. This strategy was very helpful in meeting with teachers and parents. Overall, the class was extremely helpful in work we were doing to move this initiative forward. I think it has confirmed some ways I've been working and helped me see other potential strategies for gaining power in the work we're doing. Thank you for a great class.